You start, you raise it up to whatever, okay? As long as it's within here. But if your attachment is like here and you try to launch, can't do that because
It's a launch, like the pressing the button is considered like.
However you start the robot, we don't care.
Okay.
We've seen it where it scans a color code and then it starts.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I gotta try that.
Yeah. But the code is huge.
Oh,
It's like if yellow do this, if green do that.
got it. Just one other thing I want to ask you. Because there's certain missions that hang over the map. Are we able to have?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Okay. So anyway, launch area. Your launch area is here. That includes all the spaces above it. Okay. So if you have an attachment that overhangs red or overhangs blue, okay, we have to advise you to put it back. If you still launch anyway, that's a penalty token. Everybody got that?
And the mission doesn't count, correct?
If
you launch out,
if it's too late, we'll let you go. But then,
Right, but if it completes anything, so say I launch with the attachment out.
Yeah.
And it completes a mission.
mission counts, but we deducted the penalty token for overreach. Okay? Because we can't stop the clock just because your mission, because it's unfair to the team. The whole philosophy of FLL is having you kids have fun. Okay? We don't want this thing to, you're like, oh my god, I lost like 15 tokens or whatnot. No, I mean, it's got to be a good experience, right? So we try to be fair. Okay? Voiding a mission because of, this thing is too cruel. Anyway, okay, launch area. Let's go over general before individual missions then. Okay, how's that? Okay? If your robot is out there and it's stranded, okay? Dead robot or the wheels fall off or something like that, you can, okay, if it's partially out, let's say this is the robot, okay? If it's partially out like this, and let's say you picked the wrong program or whatnot, you could bring it back, but it's got to be back into the same home as you started from. Okay? Partially out. But if it's out there in the middle of nowhere now, and it's stranded, you can pick and say, I want to be over here, or I want to be over here. Either way, it's a penalty token because you're interfering, right? Now, if the team member is kind of small and short and the robot is way over there, you can't reach it, you tell the referee, they will pick it up for you. And it's up to the referee to be very careful not to drop anything. Okay, we're going to talk about like dropping things later. Okay, so stranded robot, if it's halfway, you bring it back to the same place. If it's way out there, you bring it back to whatever. Okay, now the other scenario is when your robot is out there getting things, okay, and it's stranded, okay? If it's in the robot itself, this guy doesn't count. It gets, the referee takes it, okay? Because this is unearned. Got that?
Can we say it again?
If your robot, it's in the middle of picking up something,
Yes.
okay? Like this guy. I got it, and then it got stranded.
Oh, the robot got
The
stranded.
robot got
Oh,
stranded, okay? Let me finish, okay? So this is unearned mission. Everybody agree?
Oh, sorry. Did you?
Okay, so the robot gets to put back wherever you want, but this thing, the referee takes it. It doesn't count. Everybody got that?
It doesn't get placed back into the field.
No. Read the rulebook, guys. Read the rulebook, read the updates. Okay? Now, okay. There's some missions in, yes?
So basically for us, we have like this big catcher thing, net storm that takes all of these. But like when it hits here, it's not touching this mission, let's say.
Okay.
But it slams in chest and we need to pick it up. But does this go out even though we're not touching it, but it's in our hoops?
What's the scenario again?
So like let's say like
This you have to get, right?
yeah, but like let's say we have like a hoop sword that gets it, but then something happens and we get lifted up, but we're not touching it. Does it go in there, or does it
That's okay.
or does it stay there?
It stays there.
Okay.
It stays there.
So if it's like, if the object is touching the mat and the robot's just kind of like shifting it around, it can stay on the mat, and if it's on the robot or like in possession of the
We're
robot, it gets
middle of the game or
like
afterwards?
in the middle of the game.
In the middle of the game, if it's attached to any of the robot, like it's on a hook or something like that, that doesn't count. Because you're about to do that mission and the robot gets stranded. So that part of that mission doesn't count. So if you got like a whole bunch of them, okay, like 3 of them together and the robot got stranded, but one of them is not attached, we count this, but it doesn't count the other 2. Okay? So that's the whole scenario of stranded robot. Okay? Now, the thing is, yes?
Just a clarification, like
Yeah.
attached, are you saying touching as attached, or are you just saying like
If-
on, like the
If
robot
we could
has a
pick up the robot and the model stay,
Okay, okay.
then it's
Yeah,
okay.
that's-
Again, it's we're not trying to ruin
Yeah,
your
yeah,
day.
yeah. I'm just trying to make sure the semantics is good.
Yeah, no, I totally
So
understand.
like it can be enclosed as long as the robot can be lifted.
Yes,
Like I said,
yes. Now, the thing is, with attachment, if your robot gets picked up and your attachment falls off, okay, and it's touching a mission that's already been done, okay, that doesn't count. Because some of the missions, it's got to be completely separate, okay? So if your robot falls off something, whether it's accident or stranded robot or whatnot, it depends on who picks it up, okay? Again, we're favoring the team. If the referee is sloppy, pick it up and attachment gets dropped, okay? We count that because it's the referee's fault. But if the kid drop it,
Yeah, that makes sense.
you got that? Okay. Stranded robot halfway, attachment, let's see. We can't pass attachments left and right. Tag teams,
So just to clarify, so
Yeah.
it'll be a measurement of this quarter circle, 12 inch
we have a
size.
little clipboard or something, that's like 12, so as long as it's below the clipboard, it's okay. Yeah.
And then they can transfer stuff to the other side before the launch.
What do you mean
Yeah.
transfer?
Like right after you inspect,
Before we
they can
go.
bring up some stuff. They can bring attachments back. and
Yes,
forth, and then,
yes.
and then launch.
They are allowed to bring 1 sheet of note per corner. Okay? Per corner. You have 1 sheet of note here, 1 sheet of note there.
Yeah.
Cheat notes.
Cheat
Okay?
notes,
That, it helps them remember what attachment is what. If you have a lot of attachment that you need on both sides, do too. Yeah.
So, are the groups allowed to pass the robot from side to side?
Yes.
Okay, but when they're passing the robot can't have any attachments.
No, you can do that.
Wait, you can.
Meaning like you hand it across.
You cannot hand it. It's
You can't hand the robot.
no. You cannot take a robot from here and then pass it over here
Okay, but it
by
can
hand.
travel.
The robot can run along
Okay.
as much as you can. Bring attachment if you want to. You could do that as long as there's no hands. Okay. What else?
So,
But bring the robot across would just cost them 10 penalty points if they want to do that.
Okay. In terms of scoring, we have 6 red penalty tokens. You could lose 1 without scoring deductions. Okay. So if you have a mission that is worth losing a token, do it.
yeah.
It's a strategy, you know.
There's one thing about passing things. So let's
Yeah.
just say these krill on the side missions, right? You have 2 on the left side, right? So the robot, so you put it on the robot brings it back to home base.
Yes.
You put it on the robot and it drives over to the right side.
Right.
Then you do the whale, right?
Yes.
Are you allowed to, once it gets to the krill on the left side, are you allowed to pass the krill to?
Sure.
So, no. By hand.
No.
So it has to be on
nothing
the,
by hand.
so you still have to drive the
Everything's
robot
gotta be on the robot.
on the robot to get
Yep.
to the right side and then
Yep.
do the mission.
Think of a robot as a
Got
truck.
it. No. I just want to
Robot has
make
to
sure.
transport it.
Yeah. It's gotta be all robot effort. You guys got it?
No, just wanna make sure.
A couple referees bring it last year, which was helpful, was like just imagine there's a wall between the two
Yes.
sides.
Yes.
Yeah, that helps.
Yep. And make sure the kids don't cross either.
Yeah, because what our training sessions, the kids have been passing the krill from right to left to right.
I
So we told
penalized the
them
team
to
for
stop that.
high-fiving each other, but that was no, really, they were doing so good. It was like 1 penalty token. Come on, they were cocky. So
There's some controversy. Like these things, they count as points even if you leave them.
now we're gonna go to individual. Yeah.
Yeah, for us, what we were doing, we were collecting them.
Hold on. Are we overall clear on the general rules first?
Yeah.
Okay? Stranded robot. One more thing. On missions that have attachment, on missions that requires to be totally independent. On the score sheet, every mission has a little icon with a little block thing there that says for this mission, nothing should be touching it. Okay? Now, if you have something, let's say this is independent and this is independent. I completely forgot which one is which. If you have, excuse me, a robot that, an attachment that somehow is really big and touching both, I have to void both. Okay? But void meaning it doesn't count because this is independent, this is independent. So according to the rule book, I think update 5 or something like that, we count individual separately. Okay, so unfortunately, if your thing is touching on a equipment that you build yourself on both, we have to avoid both. Okay, now the other thing too is we referee score at after the clock, 2:30 or something. If something is touching and not touching, we don't care. But the other way around, if it's not touching, but for some reason the robot jostle it and it touches that, we have to count that too. So it works either way. Everybody got that?
Interesting.
If something happens during 2.5 minutes, inside the 2.5 minute, the mission is done, but for some reason the robot moved it around a little bit, we can't count that. Okay? But for happy accident, if something we're not done, but it did, we count that too. Okay? So we could talk about specific happy accidents later. Okay? We don't look at the board until the 2.5 minutes. During that 2.5 minutes, we only enforce what the robot rule is, and we take penalty tokens accordingly. But we don't score until 2.5 minutes. Okay? So you can't tell me that something is done, and then later on it was undone. And we look at the videotape or something, and we don't do that. We look at the table and score as we see it. Got that, everyone? Okay? Yeah.
At the end of like 2:30, when let's say the robot's like running out on the field, would the referee like grab it and stop it
We
at
stop it.
2:30? Okay.
Yes,
so
we stop
you don't
it.
want the kids to stop at the referee.
If they can stop it, they can.
Okay.
Okay? If your robot is about, time is running out, okay? If you have no more wishes, you can stop early, okay? You don't have to run the whole 2.5 minutes, okay? If your robot is, if you have no more code, all right, and you have like all the missions done already, and you have like about 30 seconds, maybe a minute, it's better to stop the robot early so it doesn't run around and undo the missions. Okay, that's a strategy. However, I have a team that, do that Cinderella magic shot or whatnot.
Yeah.
They have like 15 seconds, then they ran and did the last mission. It was like another 20 points. It was a very gutsy move. They did it, but hey, it worked. So it's all strategy. Okay, the coaches and parents can yell all they want to decide, run it or whatever. It's up to the team's decision. Everybody got that?
So
That's what makes it so exciting,
So if the robot's running and
Yeah.
the timer goes off, right?
Yeah.
But it's still on the board, like it's doing its codes.
It's not supposed to.
But if you have like 2 minutes 45 seconds,
Yeah.
the last 5 seconds, the kid presses the last.
2:15.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the last 2:20.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
2:25.
You got
The
10
guy
seconds.
the
5
guy-
seconds.
The kid goes, okay, start the code.
Yeah.
The robot does its thing.
Yeah.
Timer goes off, right? The robot is still finishing the mission.
No, at 3:30. At 2:30, we make sure the referee stopped the robot.
Even if it's on its way.
If it's on its way, we either pick it up or stop it
Got
or
it.
whatnot.
Okay.
We ensure when it stops, everybody stops.
Got it.
Because it's not fair. You can't count like 2 minute 35 or whatnot. No.
No, I just want to make sure. Yeah. So, thank you.
If you can't stop the robot, tell the referee they'll stop it for you. Okay? Yeah, we don't score until 2:30. Independent teaching. Okay, let's go individual missions then. Okay? Let's see. Rule book. Sorry. Okay, we cover rules, we cover this, we cover robot game. Let's see. Okay, individual missions. Core nursery we talked about. Okay, we talked about the Velcro so that this thing has to be smooth. 2 parts here. One is as long as this thing is separate. Okay. And hanging. Okay. Now, same thing with the scuba diver. Okay. We don't care how this thing is hung as long as it's hung. Okay. So if it's like this way, if you can, whatever, As long as like on that yellow peg thing, we count that. Same thing with the scuba diver, okay? If there's some magic way that you could hang it, you know, like this way, we don't care. This is a whole complete model, okay? Got it? So one is, it's what? Hanging on a tree, and if it's hanging and still attached, down on the bottom, okay? We don't care how you do it, okay? I would love to see magic hanging, I don't know. Okay, so that's first part.
So it doesn't matter if it's attached or not attached, is what you're saying, right?
Well,
It's more points if you attach down on the bottom.
If it's attached, yeah. That's
Yeah,
what I mean.
yeah.
Okay.
So if you just raise it and then do this, there'll be like 20 points for hanging, 10 points for attaching down on the bottom. Yeah.
What was it like? So you bring it up and then
Yeah.
it falls out, and then
You bring it up, falls out.
and then you realize how and you figure out how to put it back in.
How do you do that?
Like somehow you just like get the thing back in.
How do you get it back in?
I don't know. Yeah.
If you get a robot to do that, it'll be great.
But would you still get those extra points even though it already fell out, but you got it back in?
Yeah.
Like how the field's set up at the end.
It's, yeah.
So
Yeah.
no matter what happens in the 2 minutes.
But you can't fix it yourself. I mean, we're watching you. You can't just like, no, we're watching you. Okay.
So now I know that the model starts in the side. I don't know
Yeah.
if you went over it. So
Yes.
Even if you do nothing, you get points for that mission.
No, not this.
Because the rulebook says as long as it's in the socket.
No.
So
You
it has
have
to
an
be
and clause on the bonus.
got it.
Okay? We hung on every word on the score sheet. The first part is it's got to be hung here like this, and it's attached, not or. Okay? There's a scenario about something else, but this guy is one and the other. You got to score the first part and then the second. Yeah.
If it goes beyond the back end of the yellow bar.
Like that? Okay.
That way, what if it's even further, like that?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see if you go even further than you detach on the bottom, like this.
Like that,
Yeah,
That's
That
okay.
counts.
that's not no. It has to be if it's touching the mat, then it's not hanging. Common sense, right? Right. If it's like this, then it's okay.
Keywords.
As long as it's not touching the mat, right? Hang, it's hang. Are we okay with one? Okay, mission 2. Shock guy. Here, like that. But it's gotta be no longer touching the cave, is all this part. Okay, now that scenario again, for some reason, if the shock is like this, okay, or whatever, like this, or if it's in there and one of you guys got nervous and then bumped it is like that and then you completely forgot about it and it's touching, we can't count that. Okay, so it's gotta be first off and not touching this guy. Yeah.
So can you set up the tail in like different ways?
Ah.
Like have the tail up and then
Okay,
so
okay.
it just doesn't touch.
This is the original starting position. Okay, that's the table setup. And then you either do this or however you get this out. Like I said, we don't care about how you did the mission as long as this guy is out. So that's the first part. Okay, second part is you take the shock and then you put it here. Okay, now it's gotta be touching the mat. Okay, and it's partially in the shock habitat. Okay, partially means it also includes the black border. So if it's like that, that counts. That counts too. Somebody asked me if you do it upside down. That counts too. But it's gotta be completely touching. You cannot have this thing on some kind of tray or something like that. Okay, there's another scenario about something else, but this shock's gotta be on the mat. Got it? 2-part. Not touching and then somehow deliver it there. By the robot, okay, not hands. Yes?
Can you attach something to the shark that's on top of the shark that it still attaches to the mat?
Yes.
And what if it's on a platform, but it's leaning over onto the mat?
Shark's gotta touch the mat. Okay, if you have something that is helping him, okay, like a cradle or something like that, then it's okay. Because according to rule, it doesn't say. Wait, hold on a second. Where's the scoreboard? Does it say independent? Somebody has a score sheet. I can only look at one. We look at the score sheet. If the shark says it's got to be independent. Can I have that?
Partly in the shark habitat.
But it doesn't say independent, right? Does it?
Say independent.
Yeah, you can have potential.
Shark is no longer touching the cave, so if it's touching, then it's void.
Thank you.
If it's not touching the mat, then it's void. They have to be above, like if you take a silicone tube.
Yeah, so this guy doesn't have that red bar logo thing, so go ahead. Okay?
I think like the easiest way that I kind of tell the kids is like imagine each boundary has like a laser line going.
Yeah, it's like
And
hockey.
it's like if it crosses that laser line,
Mhm.
it's like.
So we're clear with the shop? Yeah, sorry.
One question was sorry. After you release it from the cave and it goes off the mat, are you
Yes.
allowed to pick it up then?
Yes. Okay, let's talk.
that's
let's
the
go
retriever.
back about home versus launch area. Okay, launch area is this quarter circle thing here. Okay, now during the competition, you have a big area like about yay big. Okay, that's your home area. When your robot comes back, okay, or your mission is here, somewhere here, you could come back to this little tiny area here or this little tiny area here. Okay, if you're completely home, meaning that everything, including attachments, wires, and things like that, clear the red line or the blue line thing, that's okay. But if it's not clear and you pick it up, that's a penalty token. Okay? Now, as a tip, as an advanced thing, you may have attachments here, and if you see the robot coming, you clear it. Get them out of the way so it doesn't get tripped. You got that, guys?
Yeah.
Okay? If you have a lot of attachment and you see a robot coming, you yell clear and then you move all this stuff. But don't drop it. Okay?
So you can touch anything in the home area, even when the
Yes.
robot's working.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Home area.
Yeah, a good strategy, like if you have new attachments you're building, or like you have like the cargo you're loading for your next mission, to have
Yep.
the kids do.
It's like the Grand Prix in auto racing. You have like people that change tires and gas and all that. You do it real quick.
So the shark is the one you can actually, once you get it out to the home area, you can pick it up
Yes.
and put onto whatever it
Or
is to
whatever,
get
and
on.
then put it over there.
Got it.
Two-potter. Yeah.
The reason why Oliver asked about the tail, though, is
Yeah.
unless we built ours wrong, the tail moves up and down.
This guy. This one?
Yeah, but it moves up and down, doesn't it? Okay, but if it's extended out flat,
Uh-huh.
then it could extend. It could, and once it's out, if it doesn't slide out of the
Score sheet said is touching the mat, this whole shark. Any bodily part of the
No.
shark.
My question is, what if it's not entirely off the mat and into the home area, because that tail is
Here?
still, if it's not forceful enough to come out all the way out into the
Oh,
home,
here?
like the tail sticks. Yeah. The difference
We keep
between
the tail
having
straight. Right, Tiffany?
That would be
I
a-
think so.
That would be a penalty token, right? If you grab it.
Yeah.
it's over the
If it's
mat.
not clear, you grab it, then there's a penalty.
Right, but if the, I mean, it could be like a fraction
tail's
of an
not
inch.
touching
If the tail,
it.
like this,
Right.
if the tail is
It's
flat
being cut.
versus sticking up.
Clear is all vertical space up on top too.
Right, but there's a
Okay.
parallel to that first mission in that you're able to request the position of the ring. That's
Yeah.
maybe
Here.
not as
Exactly.
clear in this case of if.
Oh
by
man,
re-
you guys.
Is it, I suppose, is this a case where it's on the team to say, is the
Yes.
shark's tail in the correct position?
Before we start any game, we go over with the team is the table set up the way you want. Okay, that includes everything. That includes orientation of these stupid squirrels over here. These guys, it doesn't matter if the head's pointed this way or that way. It's symmetrical. Okay? The ring over here is wherever way you want to do this thing. What else? Yeah, we agreed on whether the table is set up correctly or not, including the shark tail. So if your practicing model is set up a particular way, and you expect that during the competition, make sure you tell the referee. Okay? And if there's, in general, guys, if there's any disagreement with a local ref on your table, okay, you bring up the head ref, me, or 5 other guys on that day. Okay? Got it? Are we okay with the tail?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, coral reef. This is a two-parter here. Right? So first part is this guy. You set up down and which way is it?
Baba, I think it was up like this.
Yeah. So it's got a flip. And then the segment. These guys here, this is fun. What happens here is they originally set up with the circles here. Okay? Now, the score sheet said if it's outside home and touching the mat. Okay? You don't have to do anything. Everybody got that? Yeah. If you don't do anything, it satisfies the score sheet. So that's easy 15 points right there. You don't have to get it. Okay? If your robot runs into it, that's okay. You don't have to come get it and then go somewhere else. You
Don't
don't
they
have
have to
to.
be standing upright though?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, but if your robot like accidentally bumped it off like that, we don't count that one because it's not upright. Okay? It just says if it's off outside of home, could be anywhere outside of home, it's already outside of home, right? So that qualifies, and it's gotta be upright. Okay? The whole point is that you don't want to destroy coral, all right? If you want, pick it up and then put it somewhere else, make sure it's upright. Okay? You don't have to do anything. Worst case scenario, if your robot completely dies and you can't launch, you would get points for the inspection, you would get points for this. Got that? It's like the SAT. Okay?
Cool. Wrote down my name.
Write down your name, you got it. Are we okay with the coral? Okay, you don't have to touch that. Scuba diver, okay? This guy, first one, you have to get it out. No longer touching coral, which is this whole thing. And it's got to be hung like that.
Yep.
All the way like that. Okay? And we talked about if you could magically hang it like that. This is the whole thing. We don't care how it's hung as long as it's hung. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward.
But we can't have attachment to that, right?
No, yes, you can. Doesn't say.
Just gotta make sure. Alright.
Doesn't say. You can have attachment touching it.
Got it.
Okay, we score as what it says. Okay, see Tiffany here? This guy says you can't have anything touching, but that guy you can. So if you have an attachment that stays up there,
Yes.
it's okay too. Okay? Anglefish. Anglefish is here. Now, this guy, it has a little 2-stud yellow bar thing. Okay? We need to swing it completely past, and then this guy has got to be vertical. Okay, you got that? Okay, so if it swings this way, not all the way in, 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 not all the way, we can't count that. Okay? Anglerfish is latch. That's what we call the latch. It's a little 2 yellow stud thing. It's got to be completely pushed and down again. It's down, now it's horizontal, we don't count. Get that? That's what that latch means. Okay? Broken model. If for some reason this guy or any of these things come off, you can't count that mission. Okay? Broken model. There's some clause in there. Okay? We'll talk more about broken model later. But if for some reason you did this and then part of the fish guy comes off, we can't count that.
Wait, how about like,
Yeah, like that. If this thing comes off and then you push the fish.
also about like, let's just say, like these guys over here, if they
Yeah.
fall off in the middle of the match and
We
like,
can't count that.
okay.
If you've done that mission and something came off, we can't count that. Okay? So that goes back in the beginning. If your team comes into the table and the team before you broke a model, you tell the referee, hey, there's something missing over there. Okay? We can't start because it's incomplete.
Yes.
Okay? And we'll fix the model for you guys. Okay? We don't want you guys to be penalized for someone else's mistake before you. You got that? Okay? If somebody broke this, okay? If somebody like took this off, okay? Referee, remember that day there's gonna be a lot of teams coming in and out, so it's gonna be a long day for the referee, for that table. Probably they're not gonna notice something's missing until scoring. Okay? So if something is not complete the way you wanted it before setup, you say, hey, stop. No go, something's missing. Got it? But if your robot broke the model yourself while you're doing the mission, then it doesn't count. Okay? Yeah, anglerfish we talked about. 6, raise the mat. This guy,
Baba,
Yeah.
I think the green coral fell off again.
that's okay, we'll fix it. This guy here, raise the mass. This one is considerably heavier than other models, so your robot needs to push a little harder. Okay, now it's got to go all the way, and there's a little 2x4 thing here. It's got a lock. Okay, so if it's raised that much, this is okay. This doesn't count.
Got it.
Because the latch got to be like completely vertical. You can't push too much. We got that? It got to be up and locked. Okay. Now, Okay, so this is raised, that's 30 points. Now, this guy here, if you guys come close, the giant squid cracking or something like that, the setup is that whatever arm, tentacle, whatnot, needs to be above the gray bar. Okay, so if you raise it, both the treasure chest, hold on a second. Yeah, can you let go? Okay, so there's a little tiny window that when you raise it, both comes up. Okay, but if you raise it a little too much, like that, then you lose that little window grabbing your treasure chest. So if you're doing a combo mission, do that little tiny window before that Kraken grabs it. Okay? Again, we don't care how you do it, we don't care how you grab it, as long as you grab it. Okay? But the way the model is set up is you have to make sure that the two red thing is above the gray. Okay? If you did it the other way around, then your squid never raises up. You never get it. Everybody got that? The treasure chest here is completely outside the nest, which is that gray rectangle thing. Okay? So if it's completely outside, not touching the black border, it's out. Okay? So this is a full 50 points here, because this is raised and this is outside. This is not, because the treasure chest is touching the black border. Got that? You don't have to bring it back as long as you move it outside the rectangle. Okay?
Not touching any part of the rectangle, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Not touching. Okay? See that? That little... Okay. Yep. Okay. This is my favorite. This guy.
Oh, boy.
This guy.
Times.
I know. Okay. Here is 4 segments. Okay? We score as long as the yellow is on the bottom and the crab is above it. Okay? Now, there's four segments. If you raise it up like this, no, let's say this thing's off. Okay? That's 10 points, 20, 30. Okay? As long as the yellow is above the crab. Okay? To score 4 points, watch this.
There's a faster way.
I know. Yeah, so that's full 40 points. Okay? I don't care how you guys do it. I think that's the only way.
No, there are a bunch of ways.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I like that.
Yeah.
Not to say that our team is doing this, but they all have to stay attached to each other.
Yes. If one of them comes off, we don't... Oh. This is cool. If it comes off, okay, we score the section that has not come off. No, that is complete model destruction. Sorry, we don't count that. Yeah. Sorry, I was gonna score a section. Too generous. No. Sorry. Yeah, so if you break this, we don't count. Okay, guys?
So if the crab so the piece that holds the crab on is super small.
Yes.
If the crabs pop off, is that gonna be considered?
Yes. So
the crabs have stayed.
when you guys start, make sure everything is attached. Make sure there's no loose crabs or missing crabs and things like that. Okay? Get a good look at the map before you start. Okay? All right. So that's 8 habitat, and also there's no touching.
I had a question.
Yeah.
I know does the crab have to be directly vertically up? Because I know there's some orientations where it's kind of maybe I don't know if I remember quite, but if I put it this way, and then I don't know, does the yellow have to be touching flat on the floor?
No, as long as the yellow is
kind
above,
of
yellow above the crab.
Would that be considered the crab above the yellow?
Why? That scores.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, that scores. Yeah, we look at visual cues. As long as the crab within that box is above the yellow within that box.
Within that box, yeah.
Okay, so 10 points each.
Use slanted count.
Okay, this guy. I'm sorry.
If it's slanted, does it count?
Yes.
Yeah.
But he just
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. It doesn't take touching. You see, these are the robot rules that we talk about.
But we get 0 points if the Velcro becomes detached.
Yes, that's model destruction.
So if we hit it, even though it's still intact, we push the
If it's outside and it's loose, then that's model destruction.
Yeah,
Right?
just to make sure.
This counts, guys. Okay? 20 points? Can we get a picture of that?
Can you sign out too?
I'll make sure. I'll make sure all the rest of the head reps. No, I thought we covered
We
everything.
have a comprehensive photo gallery of all the many ways this could
Scoring
go.
conditions.
You want each permutation? This is 10 points, this is 20, 30.
Can we move on?
Yes.
Okay.
It's your favorite.
Unexpected encounter. This guy.
Yep, this one.
He's a squid. Come on. All right. So first of all, this guy comes off. Okay, that's 20 points. All right. Now this guy here is in the co-seat, which is here. Now, it doesn't say you have to touch the mat. Okay. You can have this thing inside the robot or some attachment as long as it's hovering and it's in the black circle. It counts. Okay. It doesn't have to be like this. You can have some kind of attachment. You know, that's hanging
Or
like
platform,
this.
right?
Or platform or whatever. Everybody got that? Doesn't have to touch the mat. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. 9, 10. Okay. So. Okay, this is the cooperative one. Is a two-parter. Okay. This thing, when we start, there's another mat game table over here. Okay. When we start, the sub is right in the middle. Okay. And you need to. And this little guy is here, and that little guy is there. Okay. So the first part is the robot would somehow tip this guy. So the flag is down, like that. And if the sub passes over the middle line, so it gets pushed over on the other side. Okay? That's another 10 points. So it's 40. Now, this is a special scenario where if your robot somehow destroys this thing, okay, and it prevents the other team from competing, all the points go to the other team. Okay, that's update 21, I believe. Okay, because this is a cooperative, your team prevented the other team from accomplishing that mission. Okay, everybody got that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
You say you said if it prevents them, so you didn't. It's not automatically the points.
Okay, hold on. Can I have that? Where is it? Order match 16, 25, 21. Here, 21. If team may not interfere with the opposing team or the robot unless there's a mission exception. Points fail or lost due to interference will score automatically for the other team. Rule 21. Okay, regardless of if the other team does that mission or not.
Yes.
Okay, automatically goes to the other team.
So I think so. If it destroys it, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop them from hitting it. Do they still get the points?
No, because that's first is under model destruction. We don't count that. And then the full credit goes to the other team.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Yes.
So if they destroy it, right?
Yeah.
But then the other team is still able to hit it. What happens to points?
It doesn't matter if the other team even do that mission or not.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's.
It doesn't matter because
Doesn't
this
matter. So
we
long
hung
as-
on the
as
word
it's
automatic.
destroyed.
Okay? And there were so many agreement whether we're being generous or whatnot. We rule by what the rulebook says.
I have a question about the setup.
Yeah.
Because this one is the one that has like the weird in-between setup.
Yes.
Right, so it has that other line on there.
Oops, excuse me. Yeah,
So
okay.
is it supposed to, where is the like,
This guy, we're
no,
not gonna
like on the mat?
here?
Yeah, you see how it has like
Okay,
the
these
arrows?
we can move the model up to whatever the borderline of this thing,
Okay.
okay? So that it will accommodate both teams to do their mission easily. I mean, within reason. We're gonna envision like clamps or something like that so that it will make the table rigid,
Yeah.
immobilized or whatnot. But in terms of model setup, we're okay to move this, you know, up to whatever the border within that arrow thing. Okay? Got that? Okay? We try to do the best we can to set up the table for both teams. Yeah.
I have one question.
Mhm.
In the rulebook, it says, like, if it's clear clearly on one side, what do you define as clearly?
We have a line between two tables. Okay?
I know, but like, if
Right
it's
in the
like,
middle.
okay.
Okay? Got that? Now, the other thing too is teams are gonna get excited. You guys gonna jump around and whatnot and shake the tables and whatnot. If you shake the table, okay, and the submarine that you did before. Get it, guys and coaches?
What if the robot naturally, or just the natural progression of the mission from both sides?
Okay.
It gets bumped over to one side.
We don't care if it's intentional or it's accident. If it's broken model, it's broken model.
How would you take?
Please.
It's only scored if the flag is down too. So
First is the flag down, and then you push it up.
Scoots over to one side, but the flag didn't fall down. No one's getting.
Yeah, you can't push without. Wait a second. There's no and clause. No and clause.
No, yeah.
No and clause. So you could either push the sub, however you push it, or you move the peg. Okay, there's no and clause. This is not a condition of do one and do the other. So if you can move the sub without latching that thing, great.
So that goes to my first question
Yeah.
earlier, was that if you have an attachment that overhangs the border, because when you just sub, it's going to be partially outside the border. So if
Yeah.
your attachment goes over the border to push a sub,
You
that
could do
still
that.
works. Just want to make sure.
You could do that.
So the attachment doesn't have to be.
You could do that.
This is a bit of a throwback to City Shaper and the
I remember.
bridge.
Yeah.
If one were to build something that then forcibly prevents the sub from being
Then
pushed
it goes back to
backwards,
21 again. It's interference with the opposing team.
There's also, you're not allowed to leave anything at that one.
Right, you're not leaving anything
Yeah.
there. You're sort of parking a robot that happens to have a
Well,
bar
that
just
also
blocks-
like trips on core value too. No, don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't.
I'm not
Please don't do that.
suggesting it, just.
You hear that, guys? Don't ruin the other team.
Yeah.
All right. If your robot can nudge the sub without pushing this thing, that's great. Okay. There's more than one way to move the sub. Okay. You don't have to lift on this thing. Yeah.
I suppose though that does force a question of is there consideration of what is strategy for one team becoming by accident prevention for another team?
That is questionable.
So like if a team does go and build something that pushes that sub over,
Yeah.
but that's where they end.
What do you mean that's where they end? I mean, the
So, like-
mission is independent. I mean, you can't touch
Great,
anything
so
at the end.
what I mean is.
So David, this is what I mean. He builds a rig.
Yeah.
The rig gets pushed with the robot.
Yeah.
With the arm.
Yeah.
The rig pushes the sub over, but he
Yeah.
leaves the rig here. The robot just leaves back.
Yeah.
So, but that rig prevents it from being pushed back.
Not even that, if I may.
Also, it's a no.
See, this is why advanced topics here.
So like,
Yeah.
if there's some kind of arm situation that then pushes.
Yeah.
And the robot just ends there.
Ends there.
Right,
That
that's
prevents
the-
the other team.
Yeah.
If it's okay, first of all, if it's not touching, it's okay. But it violates R21. The other team's gonna yell bloody murder.
But then both teams have had the same 2.5 minutes to do.
No, yeah, it's strategies.
I think you're right, it's no equipment.
That other team is gonna yell bloody murder. I mean, if they don't do that mission, fine. But if they do, and that referee and that team is gonna yell that, hey man, this thing is blocking me from doing that, then you bring it up to head ref, and we're gonna.
2:31?
Well, I mean,
Here, man.
I can imagine a scenario. We have just a long,
I know what you're talking
a
about.
long lift arm.
Yes.
You just knock it over, and then you move back and you just stay there.
Yeah.
Because it's the end of the match.
It's the end of the match. You could do that. No, the thing is, I
what
totally
the
understand what you're saying.
Right.
But if the other team try to do the same mission and try to move the sub, and then your attachment is preventing them, that violates 21. Prevention.
So then timing is everything?
Timing is everything. Yes, yes.
So in other words.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Because this is under interference. Yeah.
So why do you guys have all the teams build this if there's only going to be one used in a match with two teams?
That's the way they said it.
So at the
Okay, you share that
competition,
model.
Jake, they have all of it ready for us.
Yeah.
So they put the mats together for us. We don't have to bring it.
But that's a good point.
Oh.
But it's so you
Right,
can
so-
practice with the whole setup. So
Oh.
like in this case, you have you can set it up and then practice.
No,
with the
it's
whole
fine.
thing.
It's fine.
It will only take
Everybody,
part of it off
everybody,
the
what is
weight
that?
that you
Understand what you're talking
the
about?
robot might like over or underdo.
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole thing you can practice.
Okay.
Right, so like, I suppose my point is, if that's the first thing your team does, or maybe even something that happens in the middle of their round, it seems far more up for contention.
Yes.
Whereas if it's the last thing you do,
If it's the last thing you do and you see the other team not doing it, that's fine. And if it's not touching the model,
but I
that's fine.
suppose then it's like, if there's time left, what's the margin with which a team could be like, we were gonna do that, but
No,
now
you
we
can't rule on intention. Come on.
But earlier you actually said that we could if the model is broken, and the other team is like, well, we get the points.
No,
by virtue of
because
possibility.
okay, that is model destruction, right? But in your case, what you're talking about hypothetically is a perfect mission that you push the sub and you left your attachment there, not touching, but the other team is about to do that and you're preventing them.
So it's as long as they are attempting it and are then prevented.
Yes,
Then you.
that's called what we call interference. Okay, you're preventing the other team from doing it. If they don't do it, fine. But if they do, they're gonna yell, and the ref is gonna yell. Like, hey, what's this? You know,
I
right?
think I know the answer to this, but
Yeah.
if you complete it and then the other team sends it back,
Yeah.
they get the points.
Correct.
Because it ended on
Yep,
your
yep.
side.
That's what the share mission is. We look at which way the sub is.
That's what I thought. I liked when it was collaborative, to be honest. I thought that was.
Yeah. So if you do that and it's prevention, that's not collaborative.
Yeah.
Okay, can we move on? Okay, sonar is easy. You just swing from one guy to another.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not easy.
No, I mean straightforward. You score how many of these guys? Yeah, like that. So you get 1 or 2. That's it. Okay. Now I think once it's down, it's always down. But for some reason, if your robot accidentally push it back over here like this by accident, or you shove the table or whatnot, then we don't count that. Yeah, you don't shake the table. Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
What happens if the other
They
team
yell-
hits the table and mine goes
Sorry?
down?
Huh?
What happens if the other team hits the table and mine goes down?
Then it's penalty on
Because
that
you're
table.
gonna look at the board at the end to do the
Right,
scoring,
but they shake the
so-
table and it undo the mission. So
Right.
during the game, the referee will catch it.
Okay.
Okay, because that happens during the game.
That happened to us last
Yeah,
year.
I remember.
It was actually a little kid. Someone let their little kid run
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
And the kid literally bumped into our table and
We
under
had the
our
choice.
we
We had the choice to either keep the points we had for that one, or we kept the points because we still got one.
Yeah, so going back to the general things too, okay? We judge the whole team behavior the whole day, including pit areas and whatnot. So coaches and parents are expected to behave just as well as the kids, and we don't want you guys to yell and shrimp, whatever. Okay, now.
They're krills. That's what they're
Yeah,
called.
okay. Krill, shrimp, whatever.
There's 2 more over there.
Yeah. Okay. So we need to get them first. Okay. Somehow there's got to be another way, but usually I push the yellow thing. Open wire and then toss them in there.
Oops.
Okay.
We're thinking about the toss.
10 points each.
We have a catapult on both sides. We just
At least. Partially in the mail as well. Okay, so this counts too.
Yeah.
Okay? So as long as this whole thing is considered mouse, so however many you get them in there, you get them in there. Okay? Now, make sure you have 5 when you start. Right, thank you.
David, the other thing we have is because when we practice, we kind of, we put some masking tape down to hold this area down. During the day of competition, is there anything preventing us from doing?
We have tape on this side.
So that's going to prevent this from being lifted
Yes,
up, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Because we're having problems with this being lifted and moved.
When
we do the missions.
during the match, we're gonna have big masking tape on both sides, on the blue and the red. So we try not to have the mat lifted, especially with this guy.
Yes. Okay. We're having problems with this guy, so it just thing lifts.
Shipping lane 13. 13 is straightforward. You have to just flip it one way to the other. Okay. 20. Okay. 14. Samples. Mission 14 is just to get these guys out. Okay. Completely outside the sample area. Sample area is this thing. Okay. So as long as you pull it and it's totally separate, okay, it's okay. And you can have attachments here too. There's no, isolation logo or whatever. So this guy's got to be out. Sampler is that one.
Yep.
Okay. This guy, we had a problem building before. It was like one hole off. It wasn't standing straight. So make sure that your model stands up straight. Remember that?
Yes, Bob.
Yep.
It took a long time to realize that.
Yep. So yeah, this thing is pointing up straight.
Yes, sir.
The Trident. I don't know how you guys gonna do it. It's a two-parter. It's meant to be loose. Okay, so it's.
How you do it is you push down and then you lift up.
Okay. Make sure you bring that up on the robot design.
We're not doing that because it's like almost impossible to do.
Okay. Trident is a two-parter. Okay.
Well, you can take that.
Okay. Yeah, so the Trident is a two-parter. So it's 20 points for one, and then additional 10 if you get both of them out. Out. Okay, so that's 14. 15. 15 is the vessel. Now this is cute. This guy here, ideally you gather all those and you put it here and then you push it.
Yes.
Okay, so that this would be like in the ring, but you don't have to load the boat. You could push an empty boat. Got that?
Can the boat be like upside down or something?
What does it say? It needs to be latched. Partially in the.
You can like put it from the backside and have.
Like, can you like?
Wait. Porch latch is at
Take
least
it over to that
partially
home zone
in
and then
the-
just like toss it in there.
Okay, partially in the loop. That this guy. Okay, so if it's like here, it counts. You can't have a boat that's upside down. I mean, it's got to be, the yellow thing's got to be partially in. It doesn't have to be all the way in. You know, if it's like good enough to be like this, it's okay. All right, as long as it's like, you know, that is okay.
So one thing I saw was,
Yeah,
it's like this.
I would love to see that.
I would love to see that too, man.
I can't remember what it was, but it was like
yeah,
it was
like that
up. I don't even know what they did, but it was like attached to something, and it was like this.
Jammed something under it probably.
No, but the point is you don't have to load the boat.
Yes.
Okay? If you don't get that and you push the boat over, it's at least 20 points. Okay? More points if you get those and you load it in there.
David, if
Yeah.
our pushing mechanism overhangs the
Can't
southern
touch.
boundary, no, it doesn't touch. But the attachment goes over the
Over here.
southern boundary. Yes,
That's okay.
We can still use that attachment.
Yes.
Gotta make sure. Got it. Thank you.
Yes. During launch time, you cannot.
That's right. During lunchtime, but during the actual mission plays, we can put on the missions and stuff.
in your scenario, your attachment needs to somehow unfold so that it overhangs south.
Oh, we can't start over.
If you start and this thing overhangs,
Yes.
no.
So when you press the start, it cannot overhang,
No.
but then the arm could come down.
Everything within home, including the black border.
Got it.
Got
That
it?
makes sense.
Everybody got that?
Yes. That makes sense.
Overhang means, you know, the bottom border here too, and this one. Not only the arch border.
One more question.
Yeah.
Let's
Thank
say
you,
the
David.
boat.
Lever. Remind me
don't
how
have
this
to.
starts. How does this start?
It starts with.
Over on the 2 o'clock.
No, it starts.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
It starts like that.
So you're saying you can theoretically.
Can you put that back?
Well, this will block it from going up.
Right.
Like you could just do
You
this.
could do that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like this. But this one you can't move unless you move the lever.
That's right. So some teams have been doing this. If you could do that.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, we don't care how you flip it as long as it's flipped.
Okay, thank you. I needed to visually see that.
Any other questions, guys?
Sorry, was that?
David, could this interests me? Like, this is our first year. What's the typical score to advance out of robot?
We rank according to that day. Okay, so I think there's like 5 or 6 qualifier. Okay, so let's say 24 teams show up for that one qualifier. Okay, we rank robot score along with innovation project and everything else. Okay, so it's not just robot score. And also, you get 3 matches. Okay, we take the highest score of the 3. So if your robot doesn't do so well in match 1, you always have match 2 and 3. Okay, the other advice, okay, I have my team. they were greedy. They tried to do some last minute coding and they wiped the robot.
Oh, that's never
Really?
happened before.
Yeah. So don't do anything in the last minute. If something is working fine, leave it alone. Okay? That's what happened to me. They wiped the robot and all the code is gone. So they were able to like restore maybe half of them on match 1.
Oh God.
Yeah, and then by match 2 they came back up. But they won something for robot design. I don't know whether it's out of sympathy or whatever, but
And typically in a day, how much time is there between each match for the kids?
So basically, wait.
Depends which round you go.
It's around like
probably an hour or
it
something.
can be like 15 to 15 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
So bring a lot of snacks, make sure they
It's a long day.
It's a long day.
Lots of food and lots of water.
Yeah, keep them entertained.
And games, bring games.
Bring games. Any other questions? Penalty token. You could lose 1. Sheets. Let's see. Anything else for me, guys?
Oh, at qualifiers and stuff.
Yeah.
What are the expectations for like their practice rounds? 'Cause know
I think
the
we
last
get
couple
like,
times they didn't-
I think we get like 2-minute practice for qualifier, yeah.
And is that like immediately before? Or
I don't know schedule.
Sometimes
I remember-
it's right before and sometimes it's right before the match.
Yeah,
I
'cause
don't
remember,
know how the days-
Like they had some practice time and then things got misscheduled and then it was like, oh, you don't.
My
have-
domain is just a robot game. Scheduling wise, I don't know whether it's innovation project first or this thing.
It matters.
Your
Yeah.
team's assignment for the day.
Yeah.
We've had qualifiers in the past where they've done projects before any robot round. We've had it where they've
So
done.
who's the rookie team? Just you?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, the rules doesn't change that much from season to season.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
So the only purpose of this is just you can't obstruct, like you cannot break it, because that's not a mission.
Nope, it's decorative.
So it's just supposed to be in our way.
Yeah. Were you here when that big chicken was in the way?
Yes.
Yeah, it absolutely doesn't do anything.
The chicken is there every year.
Yeah.
Where's the chicken?
In the sub. Just do it.
Oh yeah.
Just do it in the sub.
It's still there.
Anything else, guys?
I have a question about
Yeah.
this. So the Kraken, the
The
yellow,
The whale.
the feed the whale. I'm sorry.
Feed the whale.
The yellow things on the bottom.
Yeah.
Move.
Yes.
Yes, you can
How
push.
are they?
You can push
so,
it.
Right. No, I mean the way that they're angled relative to that, at least on my model, like wiggles. I don't know if it does right now, which might be a problem with my model build. Oh. Yeah, you see what I'm talking about? Like this?
Mm-hmm.
Is
No,
this,
we leave it down.
Is this another one of those things that is?
No, this is supposed to be down. It's supposed to be down. If it's up here like that, that's very, very hard
I mean,
to
I
push.
agree.
Yeah.
But it could be like if you want to push down instead of horizontally.
No, it's supposed to be down. It's supposed to be down. It's supposed to be down. Were you here doing the windmill on Superpower?
Yeah.
There was one season we had a windmill that you push the thing and the roller doesn't come down.
We kept like it was impossible to build.
Yeah. Every year there's like controversy on some models like that. But yeah, the whale, the yellow thing is down.
Got it.
And by the rule book, you can't leave the mouth jammed open.
No. Wait, where does it
You could
say?
jam it open
What does it
temporarily.
say? What does it say, jam open?
I'm assuming that's what that function.
Yes.
Equipment to drop in there.
No, but if your crow jams it, that's okay.
I more mean you couldn't jam, like if you had an attachment on your robot that jams it open.
You could jam it open when you're feeding it, but it can't touch it at the
If your
230.
robot ends the round jamming it open.
I love this.
Look, I'm assuming their robot will be in only one place.
It's right there.
Right?
Thank you. This is my niece.
Yeah, the whale one is no equipment.
Yeah.
Right.
Any other questions, guys?
It's like whatever they do.
You can't start
It's
it
gonna
with
be
this.
interesting.
It's gonna be very interesting.
This season is a nightmare compared to the last one.
Boy, these black lines are very hard to
It's
see.
very hard to see. Clean the robot. If your robot doesn't perform the way it's expected, maybe the wheels are dirty. You're welcome to clean the thing, water, Windex, whatever the thing is. Don't eat on the mat, don't like crumbs and things like that, otherwise the robot's gonna perform not so well.
I didn't see when you were doing